Stephen, a lot has probably changed at Notts since you were last here, but this building's still pretty much the same.
Yep, very much the same, thankfully. Full of memories, full of history. Yeah.
And history with you firmly a part of it as well. We'll just wander inside, and your picture's one of the first ones you get to on the wall in here. It's some pretty illustrious names you're up with as well. That must be pretty special.
Well, there was great history at the club, and that's an important part of county cricket. There's some great players, and New Zealand's got a good history here as well. Sir Richard Hadlee is number one. Chris Cairns was here for a while, but that time with Clive Rice and Sir Richard was talked about a lot in New Zealand.
Was that one of the things that maybe made you want to come over here, the New Zealand heritage at Trent Bridge?
Yeah, very much so. Even Nathan Astle, a good mate of mine, had some time here, and I remember watching him in one of the stands playing. I thought at the time it would be great to have a couple of seasons and be a part, and when this opportunity came up, it wasn't really a hard decision.
Having your picture on here in black and white makes it look even longer ago, doesn't it? It's not really doing any favours in that sense.
Well, the thing is, I'm playing a shot. In Test cricket, I hardly play the shot, and the beauty of playing county cricket was you could be a bit more free. And I've sort of said that 3 of my best years, batting-wise as well, having fun and just scoring and being aggressive. So I'm pleased to see I'm playing a shot and not just letting the ball go.
Wander through his history everywhere you look in here,
there
really,
is.
in particular. What was your relationship like with everyone at the club, I suppose, the staff, the players you were with?
Well, it was very good. When I arrived, I was a little bit nervous when I arrived because the boys had come off quite a dominant season in Division 2. Jason Gallion was the captain. And often when you come to a club, in some ways you want the club to be struggling a little bit. And then you can have an impact and feel special about yourself. But when you come to a club that's done so well the year before and then be asked to be captain, it's sort of, how's this going to work? And Jason Gallion, to his credit, was fantastic. And very quickly I realised that he was going to be an ally, and my relationship with him and understanding the players and learning about the club a bit more was very important for me to settle quickly and help the guys, I guess, just kick on even more into that championship. But Mick was very good mates with Wayne Noon, who had spent a bit of time in New Zealand and was a coach. So there's some really good relationships from the start. Dave Hussey, also, when I first walked into the room at Lords, we were playing a first game, he made me very aware that I was the second best overseas player for the year. So that sort of banter was right from the start. A good mix of experience and younger players, so I felt really comfortable straight away.
You look at your name up here on the board of captains. Does it make a difference as a player to play for a club that has that kind of history behind it?
Well, especially coming from New Zealand as well. We don't have this type of history, so when you took time out and to look through, and even the guys either side, Chris Reid was a great guy to play with and really understated and a great career here, a great team man, and you look back, Clive Rice. So there's the history all the way through is really important to me, and to be up there and have some success with it as well was another aspect that really motivated me to want to play here and do well here.
We'll take a wander out onto the field in a couple of moments. Well, let's wander through to the dressing room first. Probably a walk you've not done for 12 years or more.
No, a walk with mixed emotions at times, more good than bad.
And one of the more traditional sets of dressing rooms to go in as well, isn't it, really? A lot of modern facilities around the world, but this still very much as it was.
Well, there are. There really is the have and have-nots here, because you know when you're playing against either England or the opposition team that the dressing rooms downstairs just aren't as good as upstairs. So there's a real have when you're up here. So it was nice when I first got here to actually walk up the stairs, whereas the other times I played here, been downstairs and looked up to the balcony with a little bit of envy. But yeah, it's great. It's a great view. It's as you say, it's probably in terms of facilities one of the older sporting areas. But again, it's full of history and it's quite tight as well. So the guys get to spend good time with each other. Where was your perch when you were here? Were you
I
was in the corner. Yeah, in the corner, pretty close to Mick, so I could hear when he was kicking the dustbin. And there's Mark Elam and David Hussey weren't too far away either, so it was an elder corner, but it was good. Chance to look over the dressing room. Yeah.
Who were your best mates in that time, those 3 years?
Well, there were a few. I keep talking about Dave Huss, and we just had a good relationship with him as the overseas players, but a lot of players. Mark Elam was a great guy to play with, a lot of experience, and had been around a lot. There's side bottoms and the Harrises all the way through. All the way through, the guys were good. Chris Reid, who had played against international wise, and then young Samit Patel coming through. They were just all good guys on a good path, and Bicknell was here, Jason Gallion as well. So a real good mix of experience that had played a lot of county cricket with some good young players coming through.
We'll take a wander back down the stairs. What were your emotions like the first time you made this walk? First time coming out for Notts as skipper, trying to make that impact and show that you were up to the task.
Well, one guy we didn't talk about was Graham Swan, and he's a big voice, and he sort of joined us, I think, this sort of second year. But it was a little bit anticlimactic, really. I'm not a big talker, so it was just sort of trying to get a grasp of what to say, and sometimes you can get too carried away with your own voice. So it was pretty low key. We just sort of got on with it, and that sort of suited my style. And no fuss, and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep in mind, we were coming off a successful season the year before, so the systems were all in place. It was more about me adjusting to the team than them adjusting to me. But yeah, it was a little bit awkward. We played our first game at Lords, so it was a little bit awkward. But I missed out, and Mick said it's the best thing I could do because we spent a lot of time with the team in the dressing room. Not ideal for me from a batting point of view, but from a captaincy point of view, it was sort of good to spend time and get to know some of the guys.
We walk under as well as we come out the 2005 pennant. Still looking in pretty good condition, 14 years on.
Yeah, it's looking good. We went the full circle, didn't we? We won the first year and then had a not so good second year and got promoted the third. So a chance to experience all the emotions of county cricket. But yeah, that one certainly, it was a special year for me and the club. It was a great year. And
in terms of that last year as well, was it special to be able to leave the club by taking them back into the top division?
Well, it's really important. Quite sort of devastated the way we responded after winning it. And so there was a real determination to do well that following year. It was a real disappointment not to do, or to stay up at least, to consolidate what we'd done. And we really took the foot off the pedal. And the following year we had to work very hard to get that back. And yes, to leave at that stage and be back in First Division, having sort of done that cycle, was not ideal. We'd love to have sort of kept competing the whole time, but yeah, it was nice to at least be back in the top division, knowing we'd put away a championship and learnt a lot in the process.
And in that very traditional way, as you come out to bat here at Trent Bridge, the last thing you do is stride among the members in front of the pavilion. What was your relationship like with the Nottinghamshire faithful?
Well, mine was better than Dave Hussey. And there's a story that I learnt early on when Dave Hussey arrived. He had this Australian enthusiasm. No one really knew who he was, brother of Mike, but he was out trying to prove himself, and he was in a sort of confident Australian way, maybe too enthusiastic. So Mick called him aside during one tea break and said, maybe you should come and apologise to the members about the way you're behaving. And Dave wanted to please, so he wasn't going to say no to Mick. And during the tea break, I think called the members together and sort of said, I'm really sorry about the way I'm behaving. And when he realised there was blank faces from all the members about what he's talking about, and a whole row of Notts players up there laughing that had been had. So that set off their relationship, which was, during my time, very funny. They were sort of competing and a lot of pranks went on. But I do laugh now as I walk back thinking of Dave Huss down there doing that story. But for me, sort of walking in and out, these are the people that we were representing. And we predominantly had pretty good times and very good supporters. So it's like the walk at Lords, and that's very special. But to have your people sit here day in and day out, that's who you're trying to entertain and represent.
Who do you think won that battle, Huss or Mick?
Yeah, I reckon Mick in the end got rid of him, but there's some good battles along the way. The kittens from Nottingham that needed a good home, I'm not sure they found a good home. That's another story for another day.
Well, good to see you back, Stephen. Thank you.
Great to be back. Thank you.